I just absolutely love it when we have
I
technical
can't hear
difficulties.
you.
Oh, Lord. Oh, great.
Can't hear you. You're
Hold on.
muted.
Oh,
Veronica, I can hear you.
I can hear me too. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
I
All
can't hear
right.
her still.
Okay. Did you hit your? It's always lovely when we have technical difficulties. Uh, all right.
Renee, I hear her, so you may need to refresh. Can you hear me, Renee?
I can hear you.
That's weird. I hear Veronica just fine.
All right.
Okay, let me
Well,
go up to refresh.
all right. So I am going to get started on here. I know we're running a couple minutes behind. And as always, I want to welcome everyone to Power Hour.
If I could find refresh, I could refresh.
We'll just have to have a little sing along for right now because we're waiting for our guest as well.
Okay, I'll hop out and hop back in.
All right. We'll try it again. Edit your mic settings. Mm-mm-mm-mm. All right, we are technical difficulties. So, hey, we're getting it together. In the meantime, we can look at our wonderful
I can hear you now.
Great, great. Oh, that's awesome. Let's see. I'm just waiting on our guest. I don't know. How you doing tonight, Renee?
I am doing awesome. Veronica, hey everyone. We're thrilled to have you all with us tonight.
Oh, you know what? Let's get started. We'll talk a little bit more because I know we're still waiting. We're still waiting. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, in the future, like I use my phone a lot of times when I'm filming. So if you text me, I will not get it if I'm filming.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right. So I want to welcome everybody to Power Hour. I am Veronica Valentino. I'm so excited you're here with us today. And joining me, of course, my incredible co-host, Renee Rand.
Very excited to be here, everyone. Thrilled everybody's with us tonight. And we actually got on live. Wonderful.
Yeah. You know what? We were here about an hour ago setting everything up and still ran into a little glitch. But you know what? We're thrilled to welcome Robert Ferguson back to Power Hour. You know, Robert is a clinical nutritionist. He's a researcher, best-selling author, and international speaker. He also serves on the Presidential Task Force on Obesity and the Zinzino Health Advisory Board.
Well, Robert, it's so great to have you back. We can't wait to continue this important conversation with you today.
All right. Well, it's good to be here.
Absolutely. Tonight's topic is inflammation, the switch that turns it off or keeps it on. You know, most people think inflammation shows up as pain or swelling or stiffness, right? And on a serious note, though, the truth is it often starts years before you feel anything and long before a diagnosis, long before labs show anything abnormal, and long before anyone says, let's keep an eye on this. So if you care about your health or your future and staying ahead of chronic disease, this conversation matters.
And in this episode, we're going to cover why inflammation is a common thread behind nearly all chronic diseases, why standard inflammation tests often miss early warning signs, the internal switch that determines whether inflammation turns off or stays on, and how proactive people identify risk before symptoms appear. And we're going to cover that today.
Yeah, absolutely. And just to be clear, this isn't fear-based, it's clarity-based. So, go for it, Renee.
Absolutely. You want to read more? We want you to check out the dietfreelife.com inflammation. It's screening down on the bottom of the page that tells you where exactly to go.
and you want to read it, share it, and if it changes how you think about inflammation, that's exactly the point. So, with that being said, and without further ado, let's dive into this conversation with Robert Ferguson.
All right. Wait. I mean, every time we have this talk, it's this. I mean, I can't. I mean, I just laugh because I'm just staring at this bottle, and I'm just thinking,
Oh, hold on.
like, I mean, I don't know if you guys ever watch podcasts, but you may want to check out some podcasts. And you know what, Veronica, if you want, I can get with you and show you how to set up where we're even.
That's-
Because
That
I'm
would be
telling you,
cool.
like, a lot of people are they'll just, no matter how great the content is, if they just see an ad, no one's watching that. I mean, just so you know.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay?
absolutely.
Gotcha.
We got it.
And I can get with you and I can help you out and make it look like a little sharper. I mean, not that it doesn't look good. I'm just saying that it feels kind of odd when I'm just staring at a bottle and a text.
It's a little comedy.
Gotcha.
Oh gosh.
But
I had a very
anyway,
good read. I had a very good read. I printed out your article and I read through that, and it's really like something that I didn't know. I never heard of DGLA. So I mean, go ahead, enlighten us a little bit. Tell us a little bit about that.
well, I would say that for those who are listening, we are talking about inflammation in the body. And we were talking about it last week, so you can go back and watch that episode and maybe even the week before. Because inflammation is one of those things that you hear people say they have it, but they don't even know what they have. And what I mean by that is they'll say, yeah, I think I'm inflamed. But how do you know? Well, no, I just feel it. Okay, but is there a test? Has your doctor talked to you about it? And the testing that doctors will do is something called C-reactive protein. And when you get your C-reactive protein done, which is usually not preventative, is when they feel that there's signs or symptoms of arthritis, maybe. And so that's a test that they will conduct. And that test will tell you if you have inflammation now, not anything gradual, but now. And if you already have it, it just confirms that you have it. So then they're likely to say, well, maybe it's rheumatoid arthritis, or let's treat you for that. And now you're walking around with the diagnosis that says you're inflamed. And sometimes they give you medications, which I know, Veronica, you're familiar with. And then you just watch it. And that's really about it. And it's very sad. Like, the more we talk about it, the crazier it gets. And so for those who are hearing us for the first time, I'm going to take a minute and just kind of give you an idea of the importance of inflammation and wanting to know what it is and what you can do about it, right? So if you know anyone that has high blood pressure, before they had high blood pressure, they were living with inflammation in the body. If you know anyone who has MS, they had inflammation before they were diagnosed with MS. If you know anyone who's type 2 diabetic, for years, your blood sugar could be perfect. But inside, you may have what they call low-grade chronic inflammation, meaning it's ongoing chronic. And it's the inflammation that got turned on and it never got turned back off. And that would be the difference between chronic and acute. So inflammation is actually a good thing, right? So if I scrape my arm or fall down, hit my knee, or burn my finger, then inflammation comes about to help for healing. That's acute inflammation. So we all benefit from that. The problem is when the inflammation gets turned on and then it never gets turned off. It's kind of like you can turn on the oven for a little bit. You can even cook stuff for a long period of time. But if you leave it on all month, even at a low temperature, you're going to create some problems. So here's the saddest part, is that in our culture right now in the United States and Canada, they're not looking at what we can make available to every person, is to find out if you have inflammation that's ongoing. And with the DGLA to AA, it gives us a snapshot on your body's ability to turn off when it needs to turn off, so the inflammation doesn't get stuck on. And I'll give you an example. So yesterday I had a meeting with two scientists, DNA gurus, and they are in the space of cancer. So they do a lot of work around genes, genetics, DNA, cancer. And so one of the people I've known for many years, so it was a Sunday, and they were like, hey, are you available? And I was like, yeah. So we all got on the phone to talk about their business. And they wanted to see if there was something that I could contribute to help them. But in conversation, I asked them, I said, hey, can I ask you a question? And the question that I asked them, I said, would you agree that before a person gets cancer, so keep in mind, these are people that are in that space, before a person gets cancer, that they had inflammation? And both of these DNA genetic specialists said, yeah, absolutely. So I said, so if we can all agree that inflammation comes before the problem, like cancer, why are we not addressing and looking at inflammation? And they both were like, yeah, that makes sense. So doctors, scientists, microbiologists, biologists, specialists, oncologists, they're all going to agree with what we're talking about, but yet they're doing nothing about it. That's where I think the conversation could begin, right? Because our kids, our seniors, our friends, our relatives, they're all walking around living with low-grade chronic inflammation, and they have no idea. It's just a matter of time.
It is. And you know what? We're already having some traction on some questions from some of the people in our group today. So do you want me to go ahead and ask a question? Get us started?
I mean, we can go wherever you want to take it.
All right. So Carrie, who lives in Florida, okay, she says, is it possible to have normal blood work but still have unresolved inflammation at a cellular level?
Yes, 1000%. And the majority of the time when you go to your doctor, like, what are they looking at? They're looking at triglycerides, they're looking at cholesterol, maybe like your blood pressure, of course. They do that routinely. They're looking at maybe your fasting glucose, hemoglobin A1C, but in nowhere in there are they talking about inflammation.
So what test are they going to ask for if they want to check out their inflammation?
Okay, that goes back to what in our opening. The only
the
test,
C-reactive protein.
That's the only test, but doctors are that's not routine.
Right.
That's not automatic. They are not going to do that. It is not routine. They have to have a reason of suspicion to actually request that test and then get reimbursed by insurance.
Right. So sometimes when someone comes in and says, "Oh, as for me, I would go in and please, my hands hurt so bad, and this came after, a few years back after a cold or a sinus infection, and it's like, please, why are my hands hurting? My hands, and that's all I kept hearing. My hands hurt so bad, So at that point, I know she did blood work on me.
That's interesting. It really is.
I mean, it's pretty scary, actually.
Yeah. It is very scary. I was watching a friend had posted something on TikTok today, and 3 years ago she had come down with Sjogren's and ended up in a wheelchair, not able to do anything. And I was thinking about, our discussions about different diseases, and that all diseases come from inflammation. And so Well, another question came with that I just saw on the list. It says, is chronic inflammation more about too much inflammation or just the failure to resolve it?
Okay, so inflammation in your body gets turned on, and
Right.
that can be a good thing. Okay, so we're going to talk about a switch,
Mhm.
Okay.
and then naturally it will resolve itself and then the body will turn it off.
Okay.
That means you don't have a problem with inflammation. But what is happening, inflammation gets turned on and it never turns off. And so 5 years goes by, it's still on. 10 years goes by, it's still on. And as a result of it being on for that long period of time, certain things start to happen. It influences blood pressure. It can influence insulin resistance. It can influence type 2 diabetes. So you have people that are eating pretty decent. You know, they're not out of control. They know people that eat way worse than them.
Right.
And one day they get some symptoms, or one day they go to the doctor and the doctor goes, you know what, we need to recheck your blood pressure again.
Mm.
You know, it's pretty elevated. That did not happen the day of. You had to have been living with inflammation for a period of time.
Mm.
But they never
Just like-
checked.
They
Go
never
ahead.
check. Yeah. So like recently, my blood pressure is no longer high. It hasn't been for a while. And so, they randomly didn't want to take me off blood pressure medicine, but I took myself off blood pressure medicine because I don't have high blood pressure. I check it every day. And the problem I see in that, when I'm in the office and my blood pressure is normal and I've told them I'm not doing blood pressure medicine anymore, they're still prescribing me blood pressure medicine because they think I should be on it. I don't understand that. I mean, where is the disconnect when something changes in your body? Because a lot of things are changing, I think, for me, between the fast burning fat meal program we're doing right now and the balance oil that I've been on for 6 months. So I've noticed a lot of things changing. But why isn't it recognized? I don't get why that's such a disconnect.
It's kind of off topic, but it's on topic.
Yeah.
I used to work with this celebrity who was very difficult to work with. And I would say this person wasn't good with logic.
Okay.
Because I got really close to this person. So if you're close to someone, you're eating with them, you're on planes together. I'm her nutritionist, right? So we have a bond. I'm there with her all the time. I'm before she goes on the red carpet, before whatever. So people started coming to me with business ideas, business proposals, hoping I could sway her to hear what they were saying. And because she wasn't the brightest person in the world, I would tell those people, you know what? You're bringing logic to the table, and they don't understand logic. So mental health is real, if that is making sense.
Mhm.
Sure.
Okay. So just because I'm a doctor and just because I'm your doctor doesn't mean I get logic. So what happens is people live in a bubble called they're indoctrinated.
Mm.
And they just do what is the protocol. They don't question anything. They just do what is the norm, and they do it for themselves and they do it for their family. So the average physician, not all, but the average physician knows to diagnose you have high blood pressure. And the way they treat it, we're going to put you on blood pressure medication. They never, ever say, hey, this is temporary. We're going to help you get off of this. And you can tell me if I'm lying, because that's not the way it goes.
You're right.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it
then
blows my mind.
And then you have the partially ignorance, somewhat incompetence of people because they don't know. where if you get on medication with blood pressure and your blood pressure numbers are okay, then you feel like you're okay.
Yeah.
Because my numbers are good. Well, your numbers are good because you're on blood
Because
pressure
of medication. Absolutely.
and you never turn off the valve for inflammation. It's still on. So that's why you get 2/3 of people on high blood pressure medication will be a type 2 diabetic. If someone's a type 2 diabetic, 2/3 of them will have high blood pressure. It's just a matter of how long they live. And they never, ever fixed the cause. They never went to the cause. They never turned off the valve for inflammation. And so we need to do that.
Do genes have any part in this? They play any part in this at all?
I would say, I think genetics play a part in everything.
Right.
But, as I once heard this guy, Dr. Henry Ho, he said, genetics may load the gun, but it's your lifestyle that pulls the trigger.
Right. Oh my God, that makes so much sense.
Right?
Sure does.
Now, both of you guys got some coughing going on. Are we okay over there?
Yeah, this is my
I'm fine. I
residual.
wasn't coughing.
Mine was the residual of being in bed for 10 days with the flu. So
Okay, yeah, because there's something going around. And I
Yeah.
know all over the country, a lot of people have been getting sick or been challenged with something. I don't know. I've been knock on wood, it hasn't hit me, but I know it's around. So sending positive vibes your way.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, absolutely. I need that good juju. Okay, I have another note just popped in from Susan in Texas. She says, how do you evaluate inflammation as a problem of poor resolution rather than just excessive inflammation in your clients?
Okay, so what do you guys think she's asking?
Can you repeat the question?
Yeah, how do you evaluate inflammation as a problem of poor resolution rather than just excess inflammation in your clients?
I would think, foods right off the bat. Everybody
Their diet?
does so many. Yeah.
And what does she mean by resolution?
Poor resolution, a problem of probably that they're not doing the right thing to begin with. Susan,
Yeah,
do you
so-
want to send me a note on that and elaborate?
Yeah, so my first response would be get the balance test.
Mm.
Get the balance test because the way we read it and go over in presentations, you get some insight, but there's other things like in the article I explained DGLA to AA ratio.
Mm.
That gives you more insight. That ratio tells you if your valve, if we will, turns on and off easily. And then once you know, you can actually start to eat differently, maybe supplement, do different things that will improve it. And we know it's improving because we do a follow-up test.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so, I mean, I think the balance test is so valuable. Yeah. Everybody would benefit from getting it done.
Yeah.
And like I was approached recently with some pretty high-end influential people in the healthcare industry to work with this lady. Well, there's a few of them. I'm coaching them with menopause symptoms. Mm-hmm. Yay! And the first thing I did is, when we do the 8-week fat loss challenge, I have you take that test, right? So that test tells you if you have insulin resistance. And if you do, it tells you that you have it at 1 or 2 levels. So right there, I would recommend everybody get that.
Mm-hmm.
Good idea.
Yep, 100%.
Good idea, for sure.
So know where you are, then you can do something about your situation. If you don't know, then you don't know. Then you're just floating until you get diagnosed with something. And that's not a good thing.
And we know that we have the disease or the whatever it is way in advance because we've had that ongoing inflammation. So it's not like, okay, today I woke up and I have diabetes and I didn't have it yesterday. It's
right.
it's ongoing. And
It's ongoing, and it's okay. Like, and some people, I think, because it's pretty new, they have a hard time hearing it, and it's so new, and it makes so much sense that then they can get even frustrated. But if you take Alyssa with the epilepsy thing, right?
right.
She got the test. She's out of balance. Enrique, he got the test. He's out of balance. And as a result of that, they have a challenge. So can you guys give me a quick second?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, let me see if I can do this. Well, I don't think I can do it. Okay. It won't let me remove my camera.
Oh,
All right, that's okay. That's all right. Let me see if I can. Maybe it's me.
we see your picture now.
And you but he's on mute. Oh, too, Veronica, I don't know if I shared with you, the girls got their test back.
Oh, did they? What did they come back with?
Yeah, Gunner is 49
What?
to 1,
What?
and Chance is 47 to 1.
Oh my God, are you
Okay.
kidding me?
So
Sorry
two
about
little
that.
girls,
Okay.
2 little girls with horrible tests. So we're working on it.
Yeah, wow.
Well, actually, that's interesting you say that, because I was talking to someone earlier today about the tests, and I have a question for you too.
Okay.
Okay. When you both were kids, and when I was a kid, right? So I was out running around in the 70s, riding my bike across town, breakdancing, hip hopping, having a good old time in the 80s with MC Hammer on. Okay, during that time, we were not inflamed. So we know through data that if you went back to 1960,
Right.
the inflammation score was great.
Mm.
Then you fast forward to right now, the inflammation score is horrible for everybody. So what happened between 1960 and now to where no one had to eat differently, no one had to supplement, no one had to overwork, people didn't have to exercise, and everybody was in balance. So that's
We
my
didn't have
question.
the processed foods that we have after that.
Okay,
They
so let's
started
say
allowing different
okay, so
things into our foods.
okay, so let's say processed foods is one of the things.
Okay.
Okay. What else?
The terrible 10 oils.
Okay, so we got more seed oils, vegetable oils.
Depleted soils, all these, horrible things that they're feeding the animals. I mean, we don't know what they're feeding them now. Where before, you used to get a cow that ate grass out in the pasture, and now they have them giving them everything and anything that they'll eat. It's crazy.
Well, so let's take a look at, one, you guys remember Governor Tommy Thompson?
Yes.
So Governor Tommy Thompson was a multi-governor in the state of Wisconsin. Very well loved. He's still alive. People love him. I work with this company called Stay Healthy, and he was the chairperson on the board. So I got to spend a good amount of time with Tommy. And in his career, from governor, he had the same he has today. He was the secretary for the Department of Health and Human Services. And he said back then, years ago, right, he was under Bush. And I'll never forget it, right, because I'm in this space, childhood obesity. And when I met him, I got to talk to him many times about it. And he said the kids born today will be the first generation that will not live to the age of their parents.
Wow.
I've heard that before.
That was Governor Tommy Thompson. And
Yeah.
everything that they were saying back then, if you look at the data, everything has hit what they projected. Now, I have 2 daughters. I happen to be informed. And so I wanted my kids to get tested because I love my kids and I just happen to know better. Now think of all the kids that parents don't know anything about this inflammation thing.
For
Yeah.
sure.
Because if you look at Veronica, we use you, Veronica.
Thank
Here
you.
you are as 10-year-old kid. You're in balance based on all the historical data that we have. So you've lived all those years not inflamed. Of course, if a kid today that's your age, starting at the same time, is inflamed, there's no way
They're
they can
not going
live
to live
to
as
your
long.
age. Exactly.
Yeah. That makes
It's
sense.
happening right now.
So I guess
Well,
that
the
would come
girls,
up as
the
like,
girls
how,
were shocked.
yeah. Well, that's what one of the questions was. How does diet influence whether the body favors arachidonic acid or the DGLA?
Well, it plays a huge role in it, right? It plays a huge role
Yeah.
because part of why people are inflamed is because of how they eat.
Yep.
Now, this is where it gets really scary. Like any person who gives 2 cents about their health,
Mm-hmm.
okay? If I were them, I would learn what we have in the 8-week fat loss challenge.
Yeah.
And this is why. Tufts University, prestigious university, they came out and documented that 93% of every adult walking on the planet in the United States and Canada has some level of insulin resistance.
Mm-hmm.
That was not the case in 1980.
Right.
That was not the case in 2000. So what happened from 1995 to now when only 7% of adults are metabolically healthy?
That's so crazy. So crazy.
And the average doctor can't even explain insulin resistance.
Yep.
Think about that.
I know I love so far. I mean, the 8-week challenge, the fat loss challenge. And I'll tell you what, I did the 6-day detox. Again, if you want to check it out at robertsdietfreelife.com. Along with the 8-week challenge, I found within the first week, I was okay. There was no cravings. There was no late night eating. There or snacking. There was no overeating because I was very, very satiated. I was filled. I was like, oh my God, let me save this lunch for dinner. And it was more than enough. And one of the questions that came up, I mean, there was a program that I was following for years, and they always stress water weight. As far as the fat loss challenge, I'm thinking, well, okay, in the first week, you're losing 8 pounds. Oh, well, that's just water weight. But here, it actually, I could see such a difference in my clothes in 1 week. I mean, I'm down. I weigh myself on Saturdays, which I should do on Mondays, but I'm just in a routine of Saturday, but down, 9 pounds. And I think that in that time frame is really, really phenomenal. And the fact that, my clothes are looser, and, the first place I start to see it is in my face. So, I just like to know the difference because, we are putting these fat burning meals together, and that's exactly what's coming in. It doesn't just feel like, okay, I drink a gallon of water. It just doesn't feel like that, that water weight. There's actually something moving in there with this 8-week fat loss challenge. At least that's what I believe.
Yes. And what I would, well, a big part of it is that the way the program worked when you did the detox is that you were getting plenty of the right macronutrients, protein, carbohydrates, fats. And that's how you initially preserve skeletal muscle and make it where you're not just losing water weight.
Right.
Because the amount of calories you were consuming with the detox is somewhere between 1,500 and 2,000.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
wow.
And let me say, I mean, there was a lot in that, but one of the things that I would share with you and everybody listening is that when you learn how to eat in a way where your insulin levels are low, then your cravings go away.
Yep.
That voice that's encouraging you to eat is not as loud.
Yeah.
So
I know there was a question that I had posted, and I did address that with a doctor, with respect to, moving everything through. It just, and like a light bulb went off when she said, you know what, it's actually your body rewiring itself. It's your gut and your intestines rewiring themselves, getting used to this. And it's only a temporary situation. I know you know what I'm talking about, Robert. I'm not going to go on live, here, but I was just like, I'm like, oh my God, that makes so much sense. And it comes full circle and puts it all together. And the information is phenomenal. So thank you for that. It just blows me away. Absolutely.
Do we have time for one more question?
I'm available as long as
Yeah.
you want to talk about it.
All right. All right. Well, this is from Debbie in Texas. She said, and this is right up our alley anyway, can an at-home fatty acid test reliably track how low-grade inflammation affects you over time?
Yes.
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 Absolutely. Test. Don't guess. Test. Don't
I mean,
guess.
our test. Okay, so in our group, this test is amazing, and so we go the extra mile. We're actually, from a clinical standpoint, able to look at all the different ratios that come with the test. We're actually testing 11 different fatty acids. It's done through a validated, verified, scientific, one of the most elite labs in the world called Vitas Analytics. And Vitas is the same lab that Harvard Research, Tufts University, Cleveland Clinic, Mayo Clinic, they all use them, and they're based in Oslo, Norway. So they're sending these tests all the way there, and that's the exact same thing that we do. And as a result, you will get your tests, and then after 4 months, we encourage people to test again. And if you do it right through Renee and Veronica, they can get you set up to where you'll get a free test after 4 months.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's where, even as a team and as we work together and help people learn about their inflammation score, that's where we want to keep our focus, because the world is starting to become aware of it.
Yep.
That's awesome. Thank you for all your help and all of your knowledge all the time, Robert. We love having you on here with us. And I know, Veronica, do you have some questions too?
Yeah, I did actually there's a question that came up from Lori from Maryland. What signs suggest inflammation is lingering even when the original trigger is gone and symptoms are minimal or absent?
Well, that is a great question, you guys.
It's a great question.
It's a great question. It's a great statement. And it goes back to, her name is Lori, right?
Lori in Maryland, yeah.
Okay, so I'll say Lori and everybody listening. The cool part about the test is that you don't wait until you have a symptom. You don't wait until you've been diagnosed with something. You get the test early on. So whether you have a situation or whether you don't, we'll know if you're inflamed or not. Because by the time it shows up and you get stiffness and pain and discomfort and can't move and finger can't bend, like before all of that, we can catch it.
Yeah.
And even if you got it, we can see your numbers now. And what happens is when your inflammation score improves, you'll notice, wow, my fingers are moving back. You see what I mean? So get it now. And once you get the routine, you don't have to keep testing. I mean, you can once a year maybe, but if you follow the routine that we provide people, you don't need a test. You will be in balance. All you got to do is just be consistent, like taking a multivitamin. Just be consistent.
Here's one. Gloria sent one in. Can two people with similar diets have a very different DGLA to AA ratio?
Absolutely.
And why?
Absolutely. Because we're different on the cellular level.
Gotcha.
Yeah, everything about it's like Two people can eat the exact same thing, but they don't have the same DNA.
Right.
I mean, you can eat like me, but that don't mean you can be me.
So how do you get that? How do you get that ratio? Like you do, when you do the EPA and divide the AA and divide the EPA, and then you get your ratio.
Mhm.
How do you do it with the DGLA to AA?
Okay, so I printed it out just because we're going to be talking about it.
Awesome.
Right. So it's right here. So because the DGLA comes first,
Right.
you take that number and you divide it by the AA. There you go. And then
Okay.
you'll get your number.
Okay.
And your number will, for those, because she
Okay.
has it, and you guys can all get, if the link is there, you can get the article printed out. But it tells you if you're anti-inflammatory, it tells you if you're borderline, and it says if you have poor, if you're pro-inflammatory from a dominant standpoint, meaning once you have inflammation, it doesn't turn off. And like, think of it like this. You ever heard of, or maybe you guys think about your friends over the years, you're talking to them one day and then they hear, yeah, I don't know, I've been feeling a little off. Yeah. And then 3 days later they go, girl, I'm in the hospital. What? What do you mean you're in the hospital? I don't know. I just was not feeling good. Boom. A week later, girl, she died. What?
Oh my gosh.
I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I have seen that happen many times.
Wow.
Wow.
So what happens, right? So in that scenario, inflammation's up, but they don't know it. Then let's say they get a virus. Well, inflammation's already on. So that means that your immune system, you're not as strong as you could be when you came under fire.
Yeah.
And now inflammation's already on. It just heats it on up. So it turns it on up, and next thing you know, more things start happening. So inflammation is the future of everything, which goes back to gut health and all the things that we're talking about, cellular health.
So what does the DGLA to AA ratio tell us about what's happening inside the cell membranes, not just the bloodstream?
That's right. It goes in the cells.
Okay,
Right. So all the different ratios tell you a little bit of different. So we're talking about what's taking place inside of the cells, which brings in mitochondria, ATP, detoxification, right? Because inside of the cells, there's inflammation. Right. It doesn't always show up in like how I'm feeling my hands and my neck. Right. And that's why there's various ratios. Right. So we look at the AA to EPA. We look at the DGLA to AA. I'm writing an article right now on brain function.
Oh, love it.
Oh man, wait till you see this one. I was actually, as I was writing it, I started writing it like 3-4 weeks ago, and I was like, wow. Like I was just getting like, what? And then, I get lost and I go to PubMed and I start pulling the articles and the references and the studies and the meta-analysis and all that craziness. And I'm just going, why doesn't everybody know this?
Yeah.
I mean, with the brain part, I'm like I would love to be like, if you guys get a neuroscientist or someone who says that they specialize in Alzheimer's and dementia, get them on. And after they talk a little bit about it, bring me on. All right. So now joining us, our clinical nutritionist, then we get the meet and I'll say, hey, doc, quick question. I mean, because you see Alzheimer's, you see it all the time. You're looking at people with dementia. You guys have your way of testing. What is the level of, you guys look at DHA, and they're going to know what DHA is. They're going, oh yeah, we recommend it all the time. And I'm gonna say, but how do you know it works, sir? Like, excuse me, what do you mean? How do I know it works? Like, how do you know that it works? I mean, people are taking supplements, but how do you know the omegas that you're recommending are working? See, he doesn't even know about the test.
Yeah.
But once he learns, what I've noticed, most doctors that I've met, once they learn about it, they're like, this is good. And then not only do they start recommending it, but they at least do it for themselves.
Right.
So.
You know what really is crazy when I'm sitting in, because you know when you start to look at food differently. I went to someone's house the other night and I'm sitting there, and you know I know they should be on this balance oil, especially their two little ones. You know, that one's eating Oreo cookies and there's Doritos. And I'm like, oh my God, like I do not go near these things. I absolutely hate
Right.
Oreo cookies. Never loved them. And they're not like they used to be, but it's like trying to get people to understand and do this, and to just, there's a way to change this, and they just don't listen. And I know
No.
it's education, and they just, oh, it really, really, you know, burns me up. So
Well,
I
you know,
mean,
that was the whole thing. I wrote a whole article on 7 influencers that I know.
yeah.
So these are fitness people, and one of them that inspired me to write the article, just to express it, was she represents 4 clinics in Beverly Hills.
Mhm.
They sell a lot of GLP-1s,
Mhm.
and she's the only one. So everything works through her. She tells the people on GLP-1s, you're gonna do this and you gotta eat this. And guys, this did I tell you guys this? No, this
No,
stuff
No.
tell us.
all right, this is it blew my mind. So I got her to take the test.
Mhm.
Finally, her test comes in, and I go, "Hey, let's go and get on the phone and go over your test real quick." And she goes, "Oh man, I got so much going on." Once they tell me that, that's a sign they're running.
There.
So I go, "Hey, so do you just let me know when?" And then she still didn't respond. Then I said, "Hey, why don't you just email me or text me your code, and then I'll pull it up and I'll send you an email and go over your test. I'll just put, you know, since you don't have the time to jump on the phone with me." So this is all through text. Then she texts me back. Okay, I want to see if you two are paying attention. You ready? She texts me back and she says, "Hey, it says that my protection value is 0, but everything else is good." So she
Did
said
she
my
say what color
protection
she
value.
was?
She said, so I'm gonna say it again, and then I would love you guys to you tell me what this statement means. She texted me and said, "My protection value is 0, but everything else on the test is good."
That's bullshit.
I don't
Oh, I'm
believe
sorry.
that.
Okay. Now
I was
we
like,
know
maybe
that.
she's on the red.
Well, if you notice, we know that. So she thinks
Yeah.
I don't know how to read the
Right.
test.
Right.
And you can't be everything else be good.
No, not at all. If your protection value is 0, there's something off the charts. Yeah, for sure.
So what does that tell you guys where her state of mind is at that moment?
Well, she's probably embarrassed, number
She's
one, because the
uneducated.
test was so bad, uneducated about the whole thing to begin with,
Okay, now
and
so
doesn't
let me tell you.
doesn't
So
want to jump on board.
here's what she texts me after that. Now keep in mind, this is a very popular, somewhat celebrity fitness person. She's got
Okay.
4 Beverly Hills. I think you guys know that's a very wealthy area, and a lot of people feel like that's a nice place to be, and that they have some of the best of everything there. Everybody's spending a ton of money. So that's her. She's got clout. She's been doing this almost 30 years. I think, yeah, her and I were close to the same age. So she then texts me in the text. I'm paraphrasing, but I'm pretty accurate. She said it just like this. She goes, "Robert, you know, I've been saying the inflammation is the problem for over 26 years. And then she goes on and on. So I get it." And in my mind, I'm like, if you get it, why aren't we getting on the phone? But I know it's pride, it's ego, and she don't want to like have the conversation with me. So she's hiding her numbers from me.
Yeah.
Because they're nowhere near she thought they would be. Right? And we get more and more and more of that. That's why these fitness professionals that a lot of people just follow blindly, They
Yeah.
are like the worst because they
Yeah.
lack humility. They are nothing. A lot of them are narcissistic. They're over the top ego. And these are people in my field. I
Yeah.
mean, I got my first personal training certification in 1989. That's a long time ago. Like,
Yeah.
and I'm humble. I get it. Because when I learned about this test, I thought this was the best thing. I was like, this is unbelievable.
Yeah.
And I'm still on top. I'm on cloud 9 about it.
She just didn't want you to prove her wrong either.
Exactly.
You know? Totally.
That's the big part
Donna-
of it for sure.
Donna says people have to want to change and educate themselves. So that's also true. So, Robert, in your experience, how actionable is this early testing? Can people really prevent chronic disease by addressing inflammation before diagnosis?
Well, if this statement is true, that was a question, right, by somebody.
Yeah.
So whoever asked that question, I want to ask them.
Mhm.
If this statement is true, then re-ask me the question. And here's the statement by Dr. Simopoulos, Artemis Simopoulos, one of the leading researchers in the world. She quote, "The base of all chronic disease is inflammation."
Inflammation.
So if that's true,
Mhm.
which those cancer people I was with yesterday, scientists, they said, yep, that's true.
Yeah.
My friends that I do work with that are oncologists, they say that's true. All my physician friends say that's true. Every biology book that I've read, clinical book I've ever studied says that's true.
Right.
So if the base of all chronic disease is inflammation, if that's true, then would she ask me that question that same way?
Okay. I understand. Well, Pat, her name's Patty. If you're going to address that question, ask that question again. I have a personal question. If someone is existing, they have cancer. If they started take they are far along. If they start taking the balance oil now, in your personal opinion, how do you think that can help them?
Oh man, I could probably list easily 20 reasons why I would take it if I was them and how it could help them.
Okay.
Right. So number one, you're still calming inflammation
Right.
because you're filling a nutrition gap that we're not getting enough omega-3s.
Right.
Number two, you're helping your gut health. Hippocrates, all disease begins in the gut. So that means all healing should begin in the gut.
Right.
The omega-3s are a prebiotic, which is great for the gut, and the polyphenols are a prebiotic. The polyphenols help our body ramp up and produce more natural antioxidants like glutathione that helps to protect your cells and to get rid of toxins that are in your body. So if you have something that's helping to get rid of toxins and metals and aluminums and all of that that's getting out of your body, then that means it frees your body up to naturally fix itself and do what it needs to do to heal itself. Right? Because you got less criminals in there creating problems.
Right.
If the balanced oil with the polyphenols and the omega-3 helps produce IPA, which is the body's most potent antioxidant in the gut, that's going to help fight off other antioxidants. And some of the things that a person, like when you're going through chemo or you're going through those kind of challenges, that's not toxic free. You see what I mean? Like you could go on and on and on.
Yeah.
Like I told my mom, I said, Mom, I'm telling you, I think you're still here because of being on the balance. I really do. You know, that's my opinion. I'm not saying that's for everybody, but I know, I really believe that's one of the reasons why I can call her tonight and talk to her.
I believe it. I wish my mom and dad
believe I can fly. Woo!
I believe I can touch the sky. Think about it every night and day.
Every night and day. Come on.
Oh, Robert, as usual, it's always wonderful having you on Power Hour and discussing all this information. Renee, do you have any last thoughts?
Oh, just share our links, share our pages. Please share this podcast on the replays, and come join us. We're all about truth and information, and we want to help as many people as we can. And Robert, we thank you so much for all of your guidance and all of your help, and to be able to answer these questions. So people can understand what's going on, and then they can take action and do something about it. But until we start doing things that we can focus, we have to remember that what we focus on expands. So let's look at the good stuff.
Amen. Well, I do want to plant the seed for something I'm getting ready to do.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So one of my goals I have a few goals for 2026, and one of them is one of my most. And thank you if you guys just give me 3 minutes. I just want to plant the
Go
seed.
for it.
Sure,
But
absolutely. Go ahead.
One of my number one seminars I've done for the last 25 plus years is I do a seminar called Wine, Chocolate, and Weight Loss.
Oh,
Wow, love it.
And it's a fun seminar. I've actually done it a couple times virtually. And I'll pair wines with chocolate, and I talk about the history of chocolate and the history of wine. I showed how they align, what they have in association with each other, and I talk about all the health benefits of both of those. And then I show people how to make it part of a lifestyle where you're not gaining weight, you're nurturing better health, etc. So wine, chocolate, and weight loss. And every once in a while, when I've done it, we'll change it from weight loss to wellness, wine, chocolate, and weight loss. Well, the other seminar that I've done only a few times, but the one that I'm going to do soon is one where I integrate a lot of that, but I bring in one of my dear friends who's an executive chef.
Ooh.
And he's part of the conversation, and he teaches like how to eat what you really want to eat, cutting the calories, cutting the negatives that would be associated with better health.
Awesome.
And you will not know the difference. And so in 1998, I was working I was still in the beginning of my nutrition studies. I did have a program that I was teaching, and he was my client. And so he was one of the best clients, man, because I helped him lose like 200 he was like 280. We got him down to like 200 pounds.
Wow.
He was an executive chef at one of the top, places in California. And he ended up at Ojai Valley Inn, if you ever heard of that. But anyway, he would teach me. He was the one that was like, Robert, you don't have to avoid that. You can make it and substitute this. The flavor will be the same and nobody will know the difference. I'm like, what? And he would come in some days and bring me cheesecake, bring me different things. And I go, there's no way.
Yeah.
Right. Without sharing with you guys the ingredients, I go, you're telling me that there's no cheese in that? I'm like, okay. So that was in 98, 99, 2000, 2001. I mean, great guy. So we're still friends to this day. So I bring him in. I teach the parts that I can teach. We actually put together a meal. It's about 3 hours long. And so what I'm entertaining is I want to offer this class for women who want to spice up the kitchen, bring in more flavors, maximize their grocery lists as far as buying certain things that they can cook on a regular basis, and really come across, and not just women, for those out there thinking I didn't mean that a bad way, but men, women, everybody, whatever you are, and whatever, bring whoever you are, bring a heartbeat, and it's all good. So I want to do that, and I don't have the information yet, but I wanted to get you guys' opinion. Do you think that that's something that other people who do cook would be interested in learning more about?
Oh, I
absolutely.
think Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's funny that you mentioned that because in 2026, I wanted to do some sort of cooking. I can cook, I can bake, but I'm actually having a master pasta chef coming to my home on the 21st of February, and
Nice.
I have 7, 8 people coming here, and he's going to teach us how to. So we're doing wine, cheese, and pasta, and just doing this the Saturday afternoon. He's going to cook with us, show us how to make pasta from scratch, and just go. I said we used to do wine and cheese parties before, so that's so crazy that you
Yeah.
said that. I'm there.
Mhm.
Let me know when it is.
Well, I'm coordinating. I'm putting it together. I just got to.
Yeah,
My next goal now
Awesome.
is to figure out exactly what people would want.
yeah.
What is the take home for them? Like if I go to this class, will I learn this? Fill in the
Mhm.
blank. And I want to
Yeah.
make sure that
Right.
it gives them exactly what they're looking to accomplish.
You know what's really
Awesome.
great too,
Love it.
because people they do everything around food, and it's just like from celebrating to birthdays, even down to funerals, they do everything around food. And you know what? I think that's a great idea. And please let
Yeah.
me know when it is. I want to sign up.
Okay, well, I'll end on this because it all
Okay.
ties into nutrition. So there's these things called ceramides,
Hmm.
and ceramides are produced primarily when you have insulin resistance,
Hmm.
when your body is primarily burning carbs instead of fat,
Right.
and your liver plays a big role in it. And so, like, even in the challenge, you're going to see in this coming week, the second week, where I walk you through and show you what that looks like,
Hmm.
because that is a big player in why we are inflamed,
Mm.
Okay.
right? So, as we start looking at, okay, if I eat this with that, then part of why I'm encouraging people to compare those things or not pair those things is because of ceramide production.
Right.
And this is when it starts to get really fun. So I know some of you guys are like, huh, what are you talking about? But it's inside of what we're learning. And it's you can, when you go and get tested with your doctor, you can say, hey, in my next test, can you do a test for ceramides?
Yeah.
And if they test for ceramides and they're elevated, that's another sign that you have insulin resistance.
Mm.
Wow.
And that's another sign that you're primarily burning carbs instead of fat. And you want the body to shift to primarily burning fat. So if I take someone who's a type 2 diabetic and I can get them to where we make that shift, everything starts to come in order.
Hmm.
Because if you don't do that, even if you eat little calories, you're not going to lose weight.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
thank you for that. Thank you for all
Well,
that
I'm right in the
great
middle of that experiment,
information.
Robert.
I know. I got you. I got you, Renee.
Come
I
on.
got you. Come on.
Yep. Well, again, once again, I want to thank you. We're back here next week, same place, same time, Power Hour. Come join us. Make sure to like, share, follow, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Once again, thank you, Robert Ferguson, for
All
being
right.
with us
Thank
this
you.
evening, and Miss Renee Ram, my co-host. I hope everyone has a great evening, afternoon. Take care.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.